bring this process together. I'm not saying that there's enough time to do a full-blown impeachment process, but an impeachment inquiry itself, handled fairly, completely fairly, with the full participation of the minority, so that no one says this process is out to get somebody, but that it's a fair process to try to use the constitutional powers that we have. I think that in any atmosphere, if people are willing to work together and you're being fair and the evidence is there and you have constitutional scholars supporting it, I think it can work. Maybe I'm a cockeyed optimist. Nobody would have thought the impeachment would have worked in 1973, that process would have worked. Remember, what we were looking at was the Andrew Johnson impeachment. That was what was staring us in our face. And I think, and that didn't work because it was partisan, and the Clinton impeachment didn't work because it was partisan. But I think good people working in good faith together, as we did, can overcome those partisan hurdles, and have to, for the good of the country. Well, I think it would be shirking your constitutional duty to fail to hold this administration accountable constitutionally for these serious abuses of power, and that I think, agreeing with Mr. Fine, that an abbreviated and short and very careful examination and inquiry could be made, and the President and Vice President, other members of the administration could be called to respond. And then you could determine, based on the responses, how you wanted to proceed. And I think that that would be the responsible thing to do. And I want to add one thing that wasn't really brought out before. When people said, well, how did it work in the Nixon process? How did Republicans and Democrats come together? Well, the process itself educated members of Congress about the Constitution, educated members of Congress about the facts, and probably most important, educated the American public about the Constitution and its requirements and the evidence. And that's what made this work. The process made it work.
Adam Schiff is a former Assistant United States Attorney and a valued member of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for holding this hearing. Over the last 8 years, I've been deeply disturbed by much of the conduct of the administration and its overreach of constitutional lines. Some of what has disturbed me and some of this overreach has taken place in the dark, in the categories of surveillance and interrogation, and some of this conduct has taken place very much in the open, as when the administration ignores the plain language of a statute, that when the Congress finds someone in contempt of the Congress, that matter shall be brought before the grand jury. Not may, not might, but shall. And some of the administration's conduct that disturbs me has been both in the open and in the dark, as in the intelligence leading up to the war in Iraq. I would like to use this opportunity to make an open call to this Congress to form a church committee to conduct an investigation into any of the encroachments upon the Constitution, any of the encroachments upon the legislative branch by the administration. It should be a bipartisan committee, as the Church Committee was. It should go back, I think, even before this administration and look at perhaps some of the roots of what has led to the abuses in this administration. I think that that inquiry should start now and continue during the next session of Congress.